Hey beautiful people, this step-by-step video will help you think like a UX designer. And even if you're just a beginner, I think this video is going to be really good for you to find what to put on your portfolio. Let's start. I just finished watching this video by, I want to say it's by Marquez, but they actually have a podcast that is called WVFRM. How to pronounce it, I honestly don't know. But basically in this video, Marquez and David Pierce are trying to convince Andrew, which is on Marquez's team, to use a proper to-do list app instead of his alarm clock. And I think the process that they're doing with him is very, very similar to what I would do as a UX designer with interviewing a user, understanding their needs, pain points, etc. I'm gonna link it down below. It's like an hour and a half. I summarized everything for you so you won't have to watch it, but I do recommend watching it anyway because it's a great video. We're gonna go over these steps. Let's start with the problem statement. And these guys called it opening arguments, where they each said why they use productivity apps. But I think we can really think about it as like a problem statement. All the products and apps you use were invented to solve a specific problem to the user. So identifying this problem is the key thing that you need in order to start designing. Once you understand the problem, you will know how to find solutions to attack this problem and solve it. So we're only hearing from Marquez and David at this point, so I'm gonna refer to them as the stakeholders. And like any other stakeholder in real life, they will have their assumptions, thoughts, ideas, and they will come with like their own knowledge even before talking to like users. So this is step one. And I did summarize everything in my notes while watching this video, but let's pour everything into FigJam and I'm gonna show you how I would actually do it if I were to design this project now. The first problem is like, we have bad memory. Like if we don't write down things, we won't remember what tasks that we need to do. So that is problem statement number one. The second problem statement, they don't want to think about it. Not thinking about what you have to do is kind of like eliminates the friction. I already have it written down, so I don't need to think about it. The third thing, and that's, I'm only saying what they said. So the third thing is to be as frictionless as possible. Let's talk about friction because that's a really important subject in UX. Basically, friction is all the shitty things that we as users don't want to do. The first immediate thought is like Uber or Lyft. It is so convenient. Instead of picking up your phone, looking for taxi numbers and then calling the taxi or waiting in the street for a taxi, they eliminated this entire friction, and now in 2 or 3 buttons you can just call a cab that will wait at your door. Another example I can think of is Apple's sharing a Wi-Fi password. If we're in the same place and you're gonna want to connect to the Wi-Fi that I'm already connected to, it's gonna show you this prompt of like connect fast. And we're gonna get into the frictions in just a second when we talk about pain points, but let's try to find just like one problem statement with all these three. I put it in one sentence. Tasks can be hard to organize and remember, especially when you have to think about it before you act on it. Can I refine it better? Yes, but for the sake of this video, let's just say that this is the problem statement. The second step, and I mentioned it before, is gonna be the persona. Let's figure out who Andrew is. And the persona is really important because now you understand what they are used to. Like, what apps do they use? Why do they actually need this app? What is the value that we can give them? What are their pain points? It's a very important step to understand who are you designing for. As I said, they use the alarm app for everything. He said that is partly because he's a bit stubborn, like he doesn't want to learn new things, and he really wants his home screen on the phone to be like simple, chill. He doesn't want like the anxiety.
I like this to be clean and just like peaceful.
Nice
and then thank you very much. And then maybe one swipe away. I'm also I do not like any swipes on it at all. So this is a big step for me, agreeing that I might be able to add a second screen.
They did, however, say that they use the app Huckleberry, which is collaborating on newborn stuff with his wife. So he is married and he has a new kid. So he's trying to like manage everything. And as soon as a user tells you they use a specific app, you need to go and explore it. We can see it's like sleep experts. I think it just tracks like your baby sleeps, how much did he eat. This app kind of requires, I'm assuming, like check-ins. I'm not gonna download it now, but if it was a real project, I would download this app and actually ask Andrew what he likes about this app. Why is he using it? What keeps him using the app? Because, you know, sometimes you download an app and then you delete it like the next day. He did mention that he used to use Google Keep.
Keep a lot. Yeah, other than that is like a big list of things that I definitely don't need. And then my AeroPress coffee recipe.
I would also ask why he stopped using this app and what doesn't work in this app for him. So we said he has a new child. His wife is a calendar keeper. What is also interesting is that he's waiting for the moment to be productive. And especially after he completes one task, he's like moving on to the next one. Like he's motivated now. And that is really interesting. Once I heard it, I immediately thought of like motivation apps. Keep that in mind. We're gonna use it for the brainstorm. And also he gave us a very specific use case. Like he needs a reminder to take his work MacBook to work when he takes it home. I immediately thought about like a reminder once you leave a specific location, like you left work, maybe you can have a prompt like, oh, did you take your computer? Remember to take it back with you. And then like, oh, cool, set a reminder for 8 a.m., which is when he leaves the house. I have gathered 3 actual quotes that he said.
Man, I'm realizing my entire life's calendar is just texting my wife to see what we're doing this weekend.
Whoa. That's a different productivity app.
She's
2 more very interesting quotes that he said. He said that he wants his personal calendar to be everything, like really like a personal assistant. And the most important thing he said, he wants to get his life together. And he kept referring to the other guys as like, you got your shit together, you got your life together, which I found so interesting. And I want to present to you a UX concept called the 7 whys. Basically, this concept says that if you will ask why 7 times, by the 7th why, you will get deeper and deeper and deeper until you realize what is the actual value and pain point of the user. I can't stress how important that is because you know, there's a lot of productivity apps. Why is Andrew not using any of them? And that is like the core value that I say we like, we're the product now, right? We as a product, that is the biggest value we can help him with. Like, we're gonna get your life together. You're not even talking about productivity. You're not talking about a to-do list. This is like, we're gonna solve your deepest emotion, like get your life together. And immediately when I heard it, I really thought about motivation app. Imagine if instead of just saying, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this, you open the morning with, good morning, king, today you're gonna conquer the day, you're gonna be amazing, blah, 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 and only then making you like feel that you can conquer the day and you can be productive. And it really connects to what he says, that once he's feeling productive, he's doing other tasks as well. So we just need to get the users to feel empowered enough and productive enough for them to, like a domino, start doing all their other tasks. Wow, that's amazing. The 3rd step is the pain points, and it is very much connected to our persona. They actually called this chapter pros and cons of apps. The first one that they talked about, they said that all these apps, they have much better websites than the actual product. Like, it looks way better than the product itself. Each productivity app that they were talking about has like a specific feature, but is missing a different feature that a different app has. So if we can gather all the good features from all the app and combine it into one super app, that would be amazing. Oh, and they also talked about migrating from apps. Once you find an app, you pour all your life into it, all the tasks, and then you realize that it doesn't really give you the value that you were looking for. So you need to now do everything on like a different app, which I can see how it really becomes a nightmare. Adding tasks to the calendar doesn't always work. They are right in saying that not every task has like a specific time for you to do. They mentioned Emmy. This is a really beautiful app. like, it's a beautiful website. I don't like the gray, by the way, but once you start scrolling, it's like it sells you like this amazing dream. They said that this app is kind of like mixing both your calendar with the tasks. So we have this, and sometimes these apps cause more anxiety than managing the task itself, which I can relate to. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't use productivity apps. Working hard is like, we don't like to work hard. Why would I have to list all my tasks now? I invest a lot of energy into doing this. Instead, I can just go and do the task myself. You know what I'm saying? And this one was really key. You always think about tasks in impossible situations. And I know you can relate to this. I know you can relate because I'm like that as well. When I shower, I have all my like best thoughts and ideas, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this, especially for YouTube. You know how many YouTube ideas I think about when I shower? And then when I finish showering, I feel that everything is like down to the drain and I forget all my thoughts. So basically in this step, I have all the sticky notes from everything I heard from the users, and I can even take and color it in like different colors, the pain points that I really want to tackle. So this is one of the like biggest pain points. And even in this step, you can start very intuitively without thinking too much. You can start brainstorming with yourself. For example, if you always think about it in impossible situations, imagine if it would be like a voice assistant, like Alexa and Siri, and I can just, hey Siri, add this and this to my calendar. Please, Siri, don't do anything now. Don't interrupt my video. At any step, don't be shy to really pin some ideas that you That's the problem with that's the pain point with long nails. I have a lot of pain points, but basically don't be shy to pin your own ideas in like a brainstorming board. Just, not committing to any idea. It's just a thought that you had. Always keep your thoughts, because I promise you, once you start designing, you won't remember anything. I'm not even kidding. The next step is gonna be use cases. And use cases, you can also call it user stories, is basically, let's take a real life situation and see how the user solve it. Marquez and David have presented like these use cases to Andrew and asked him how is he solving it with his alarm app. I'm laughing because I use my alarm app as well. Like, I'm guilty as Andrew. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is actually a real use case that Andrew has brought up. He has a calendar event to not forget the trash.
It's an event.
Okay. And it is, sorry, can I see that one more time?
You can.
It is the
Very
night
intense.
before.
It is the night
before. Okay, perfect.
I ain't getting up in the morning to do that.
Totally fine. So,
But that works for you.
It works for me. It works I have not missed a trash day.
Okay. Perfect.
And then we make it more complex. Once you need to take out the trash, you also need to have like another task on top of it. And Andrew said, you know what? I have a real use case. Once a year during the holiday, he needs to take out the trash and tip the trash workers. So he has an alarm app that says money on trash. That's how he calls it. And once he throws away the trash, he picks up the money. And he tries to time it to the same time he knows he's gonna do it. So in the morning when he goes out to work. And then Marquez made it a bit more complex and said, okay, what if from Sunday to Monday you need to do both of these tasks during winter, but in summer you only need to do it on Friday and Saturday? Andrew was like, I don't know, I guess I'm gonna make 2 calendar events and I'm just gonna ignore one of them when winter comes. And the last one is a use case offered by Marquez. He said, let's imagine you're going on a weekend trip. You need to send an email with instructions on Google, and you need to fill out this form like the morning of the trip. And Andrew said that he will forget, but he will probably set an alarm. And then Marquez asked, okay, will you link your form to this alarm so it will be like easier for you? And Andrew was like, no. Okay, our next chapter is competitor research. And in the video, they call it app recommendation chapter. And it really can be the equivalent of like market research or competitor research. And basically in this step, you're gonna really explore and use all the products that you can put your hands on that do something similar for your idea. So I'm gonna check all the productivity apps. I'm gonna look for all the to-do lists. And I did mention like motivation app. I'm gonna check that as well. Number one, go to Product Hunt. Product Hunt is such an amazing website. I go to Product Hunt at least once a week. There are a lot of amazing things that you can learn from it. So you can search by your category for like productivity, to-do list, whatever, and you can see all the new products. Second thing is to go to like Mobbin or Nicely Done. You can see a lot of products there. And the third thing is ask ChatGPT. You can say, I'm working on an app that does this and this. Give me the 10 most used, most loved, most like highly rated products that do this. So in this video, their two favorite apps were TickTick. From the website, this looks ugly. I'm sorry, but I mean, this looks okay, but this looks, I don't know. It doesn't look really beautiful in my opinion, but it's, oh, no way. Recommended by MKBHD. My favorite app this entire week, which is my to-do list, is called TickTick. Like, he really likes this app. The second app, which is David's favorite app, is Todoist. Once again, I'm only doing this for the sake of the video. I haven't downloaded any of the app. They did mention a Google Task app. It's in Gmail. There's even an article that David has wrote about it, like how to turn Google the best to-do app ever. They did mention briefly Notion calendar that, again, I haven't heard. I know Notion, of course, never heard about their calendars. And the last thing, which was really cool, they were talking about the Rabbit device, that like maybe this can even be like the future of productivity apps, you know? So I think it's really cool. And again, if you're looking for like a fake project to put in your portfolio, listen, design a productivity app for Rabbit. If I would have seen a project like for Rabbit in the portfolio, I would hire that designer. It's time to brainstorm how we can make the best app ever. Identify text messages. For example, if his wife said we're going on a weekend vacation, it automatically adds it to the calendar. It needs to be really quick and frictionless. You remember we were talking about friction. And he did say that he uses his watch. So something that he can use like voice assistant or Apple Watch or whatever smartwatch that he has. An app that doesn't yell at you. My camera died, so I'm not sure where were we. But I said before, he loves his home screen clean and he wants a widget like on the side. And then Marquez said that TickTick has actually a feature of like a plus icon that you can just click plus and maybe that can work. They did talk about like keep having shopping list feature that you can yell a task across the room. TickTick has a nice sound when you mark a task as done. Andrew, once Marquez said that, Andrew's light really like lit and he was like, what? I want to hear the sound. To me, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, our app must have the most epic sound because it really connects to what Andrew said earlier. Like he wants to like get his shit together. And I think the sound of accomplishment, especially when he's that enthusiastic about it, will really make the difference. And remember, he said that once he's doing one task, he's starting to be more productive. Imagine he would just listen to like that sound of that one app. It can be like really addictive and like really makes all of his dopamine in his brain like release and feel really good with himself. It sounds like a small feature to have, but if you hear your user like is really excited about it, have this feature. And the last thing we already talked about, it needs to be like a voice input or analyze simple messages. Now that you have collected all of this data, it is time for you to start with wireframing. And once you have these wireframes validated, you can then go to your high fidelity design and have your own product. I'm not gonna design anything unless you really want me to, but the goal of this video was to really show you that you can think like a UX designer even when you're watching a YouTube video. A good UX designer will think about products and features 24/7. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you really want to see like all the wireframes and even maybe like a user journey map and do the entire process until we have like a final design, let me know. I didn't think this video should be that, but if you really want to see it, I'm gonna do it for you. So that's it for today. I'll see you next week.